everyone, it's Ben Hardy here today, and I actually have a really special treat for you. This is the all-new 2018 Jeep JL Wrangler. This is the brand new body style for the Jeep Wrangler, and this is actually a pre-production unit, so this is something that we get to check out that not a lot of people have been able to see yet, but let's just get right into it. Normally I'd start up front and just start right into going into the under the hood and everything, but with this new JL Wrangler, it's got these little latches on both sides that you just gotta pull off, and then over to the other side that you gotta pull off to get over into that engine compartment. And then if we look under the hood, here's that same 3.6 liter V6 that has 285 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque, except now it's routed through an 8-speed automatic transmission, up from the old 5-speed automatic transmission that they had before in the JK Wranglers. In this spec, it gets 20 miles per gallon combined, 18 around town, and then 23 on the highway, which is quite a bit better compared to the last generation of Wranglers. Here's the tour up front. We can see this new front end where they have these nice little LEDs here. They have full ring LED there, and then the projector HID bulbs as well, and then they get the fog lamps in the bumper with these nice tow hooks and everything. And it still looks like a Jeep, but it looks a lot more modern. I love this new front end, and this specific Rubicon has these nice little hood vents on the top to make it look even more aggressive. And here's what those revised headlights and everything look like when you have them turned on. Now it's a little bit hard because it's a little bit bright outside, but here's what those look like. Look at the side of the JL Rubicon here. We can see these massive BF Goodrich all-terrain tires that are really meaty and everything, and absolutely fantastic for off-roading and all that. Coming around to the back, we can see these new LED tail lamps that look absolutely fantastic, and then obviously the spare tire back there with more of those red tow hooks and everything in that singular exhaust and all that. This is what those new taillights look like when they're turned on. In regular Jeep fashion, you can open up the trunk just like you used to. So you open up this part and then you open up the back window. I'm not actually going to go into that because there's actually a bunch of boxes back there, but it opens up just like the old Wranglers with the window and everything. And what's really neat is on this new one, the backup camera is actually right here integrated into the center of the tire. We're out back here. This is actually the new key fob for it, and you do get a little pop-out key if the Wrangler ever dies on you and all that, but it is push-button start. And to remote start it, actually just have to lock it, press the remote start twice, and then it'll start it right up. Onto the back, we can see that everything's padded in leather. This specific one has this nice contrast stitching. You get, you know, all the modern amenities. You get an outlet, you get little USB ports and everything. You got your controls in the center for the window, and this weird kind of lining on the back of the seats, these little holders and all that. And you can see all the speakers and everything up here and all around. But, you know, it looks pretty similar to the other, you know, generation of Wrangler. It's just a little bit updated with everything. There's, you know, a little bit more leather and everything all around, but it's super nice nonetheless. Coming around to the front, and this is where you're gonna notice most of the biggest changes with the new Wrangler and everything. This whole like front end is front interior part is actually, you know, pretty much completely different from the last one. They got these new kind of like metal handles. The mirror controls are down here now. You still got the lock and unlock. You got kind of like the more modern looking steering wheel with the cruise control on this side, all the voice commands and controls for the center stack right there, controls for the light and everything, wiper blade controls. You got nice leather stitching on the dash, and this nice kind of like red trim that matches all the red trim on the outside and everything. And the biggest difference you're gonna notice is kind of like all in this little area. We got the climate controls, the controls for the heated seats, heated steering wheel, hill descent control. It does have the auto stop start function with that new transmission and everything. So you got the window controls in the center. They are a little bit different. They're kind of more rubberized, if that makes sense. And then now where you have the you know, sway bar disconnect and axle locks and everything, they're now down here, and they do expect you to put modifications on, so they have the auxiliary switches over there. And this is the new shifter, which actually has an old school Wrangler on it and everything. The shifter to switch it into, you know, 4-wheel high from 2-wheel drive, neutral, 4-wheel low. The interior, to actually shift this over into the different drive modes, it's actually a lot easier than before. So if you have it in drive, you can just pull it right back into the 4-wheel high, and it'll pop right into that. And then you got to put it over into neutral, obviously, to get into the 4-wheel low. So you got to pull it over, and then it'll go into the neutral position, And then if you pull it back even further, it'll go into the four-wheel low. And then that's when you can do the front axle locks and rear axle locked and everything. You can do for the front, you can do for the rear, you can do the sway bar disconnect and everything. And it's just so much easier to use compared to the old one. It just works so much better. Still got the regular handbrake and everything. Still gonna get the traditional kind of Jeep glove box with the Wrangler handle and everything. Start up the new JL. All you gotta do is put your foot in the brake and push the push start button, and it'll start right up. You'll see the gauges do a little bit of a sweep and everything, and you get this nice digital instrument cluster and everything that can show you all the information that you want to know on the Wrangler. It can give you speed and everything. It's super similar to the other products that, you know, Chrysler has and everything, to the other more modern Jeeps that they have up in their lineup. And then coming to the center screen that's kind of like covered in this rubber stuff because they're trying to make everything waterproof in here. You got these, you know, the new Uconnect system and everything, where you can control the climate controls and everything. This is the little touchscreen that we've seen in all the other products and everything with all the controls. It's super responsive, super easy to use. It's got that, you know, it's got the drag and drop function with everything that you can use and all that. It's super easy to use and everything. You know, you can get these equipped with navigation and all that. That's got that super, like I said, the screen's super responsive. And then you go here to go to the phone controls and everything. And then last but not least, we got the little glove box, which has 2 different levels. You get another USB port back there and everything. Tons of storage and all that. But yeah, overall, this new Wrangler is just absolutely amazing. The new Wrangler, if we pop it into reverse, you're gonna have this gigantic backup camera with the trajectory lines and everything pop up on the center screen. So here we are setting off in the all-new 2018 Wrangler Rubicon in the, obviously the new JL. And sorry about the camera angle. Then I looked all over, and it's hard for me to find a place to stick my camera, and so the side window was the best place for me to find. If I put it on the windshield, this windshield's too straight up and down, and so it kind of makes it so that the camera's at like a weird sideways angle. So I just hopefully that works out and everything. But you know, first impression driving this, it drives a lot smoother compared to the other generation. I'm actually noticing it, the ride quality and everything is actually pretty smooth, and that's surprising for a Wrangler. And you know, just, you know, driving it just a little bit, that new transmission is absolutely phenomenal. That 8-speed automatic transmission is probably one of the best things I've ever done with the Wrangler. I mean, you guys know that I'm a big fan of, you know, the stuff that ZF does, and I love that transmission pretty much every vehicle, and you know, the Wrangler is no different with it. It shifts off the gears so much smoother as compared to before, and obviously it's going to benefit with better fuel economy, but it just makes so this vehicle rides so much smoother and everything compared to before. It's super nice. Now we're at a light here, and it just did the auto stop start. So right now the engine is actually shut off. So that's obviously going to help with fuel economy and everything. I don't really have the AC blasting or anything. I think it's 50 degrees outside, so it's like the perfect temperature to not really have the climate control on and everything. But yeah, that auto stop start, and it makes it so quiet and everything. It's crazy. And looking up top, I mean, the roof is, you know, pretty similar to what it used to be. In the other ones, you can still take off the top and everything. It's easy to remove it. They made it so much easier to remove everything. I love to show everyone, but I don't have a ton of time with this Wrangler, and so I'm trying to get as much as I can on it while I do have some time with it. I'm sitting at another light here, and the new like LED turn signals that are you know, on the sides and everything, they look so cool. I just love the whole like new look of this. It just makes it look a lot more modern. And I know that there were, you know, aftermarket companies and lights and everything, and some stuff you get from the factory that looked really, you know, awesome and everything. But these new lights, I mean, you have to see in person. Honestly, it just looks absolutely incredible. You know, it still has that Jeep look and everything, but I mean, they've just come miles with this new Wrangler. It's amazing. We're about to get on the interstate here, just so we can get a slight acceleration on the new Wrangler, just to see kind of, you know, how much quicker it is compared to the other one. It's got the same, you know, V6, but obviously this one's gonna have, you know, that 8-speed automatic transmission, so we'll see how much more responsive it is. Oh yeah, that's incredible. I mean, it's so much quicker. shift so much quicker. I absolutely love it. I knew that, you know, putting that transmission in it was just, you know, a really good call by Jeep and everything. And obviously there is, you know, a bit of wind noise, this being a Wrangler and everything. But yeah, I mean, they did such an incredible job with this new Wrangler. It's astounding to me. What I have to say overall, and you know, I am a little bit biased because I definitely do have this have this love for Wranglers. I love the styling on them and everything. You know, even though they are a little bit rougher to drive and everything, I do love how they drive and all that. And so, you know, what I would say overall is I would definitely check out this new Wrangler. I definitely think it's worth it. They've made so many good improvements on it, you know, with the new transmission, and they'll have those new engine options later on. And I still think this engine is going to be, you know, the most preferable for off-roading. I know that diesel, you know, I know diesel engines do good for off-roading, but I still think this V6 is, you know, plenty of power for off-roading, but it's not, you know, too much power, if that makes sense. And so, I mean, you know, the Wrangler market is, I mean, it's such there's so many people that get these vehicles, so many people love these vehicles, and it's for good reason. And you know, they kept all the stuff that I personally loved about the Wrangler, you know, the styling and some of the, you know, interior features and everything, just how everything feels. But then they upgraded everything else, and so they just made this, you know, it just went from, you know, one of my favorite vehicles to, you know, even higher up on the list, just because of all the stuff they added to it. It's just crazy. I said, if you're in the market for an SUV that's different and everything, and you know, if you're in the market for a Wrangler, I would check one of these out for sure. I would definitely at least give one of these a look at before you purchase something. They're so sweet. Here we have it, everyone, the all-new 2018 JL Wrangler. Thank you everyone so much for watching. If you liked the video, please leave a like. If you're stopping for the first time, please subscribe and comment down below what you thought, and I will see all of you in that next video.